Hi there, it's Nicole from Mama Elephant, and today I've got some movie night invitations featuring the Invitation Wishes stamp set. This is new for Mama Elephant, and it's this beautiful large invitation greeting stamp set. I'm laying out my supplies here, but I'm going to incorporate some other new images or stamp sets as well. The DIY invitation works perfectly with the Invitation Wishes, and then one of the little girl agenda images is going to be perfect for these movie night invitations. These would be great for maybe a sleepover for girls of any age, or just all kinds of fun things. Maybe even for your girlfriends, you want to get together and have a movie night, you could do these, and they're just a really fun, really quick and easy way to create some invitations for whatever you're going to do. There's lots of different options for the DIY invitation, so you could make these invitations for lots of different things. I am using some post-it tape to tape off the edges of this Framed Tags Chelsea die. This is a large scallop die. It's going to be a little bit smaller than A2 sized, but it's going to fit in an A2 sized envelope perfectly, which is going to be the only insert. This isn't going to be a traditional card. This is going to be a flat insert that goes in an envelope. And I'm stamping the You're Invited from the Invitation Wishes stamp set with Versamark ink. And the mask is also going to help mask off those edges. There's going to be a couple of loops that I don't really want out in that outer edge because the Frame Tags Chelsea die has stitching detail and then dotted embossed detail, as well as that die cut scalloped edge. And I want that to be clear and open. These were die cut from some inexpensive watercolor cardstock. This is the Canson cardstock. It is nice and inexpensive, so if you want some watercolor paper that will really, you'll get the most out of, it's fantastic for lots of watercolor or distress ink type of techniques. When I tip my paper at an angle, you can see that great big You're Invited Invitation Wishes greeting. The save the date is incredible too. You could create some beautiful save the date type of inserts for your cards. But I've used clear embossing powder. The watercolor paper is not pure white, and because my edges of the card are going to be masked off and you're going to see that color and it's not really white, I wanted the greeting to match. I didn't want to emboss this with white embossing powder and have it be stark white and then have the edges this kind of cream color. So I embossed it with clear embossing powder instead. While I still have my post-it tape in place, I went ahead and just inked up my panel. I did this a couple times because I've done a couple of invitations here. You could do as many as you needed to. And I have to tell you, this project was one of the fastest I've ever created. It is super, super quick. When you're using a MISTI, all you have to do is leave your stamps in the MISTI and stamp all of these panels repeatedly, and you can have these done in just a matter of minutes. I am using picked raspberry and dried marigold distress inks to color in my background. This is one of my favorite color combinations. You could use whatever you wanted to, depending on what kind of occasion you're doing and what colors are your favorite. I'm going to buff off the ink from the embossed area, spritz this with water from a distress sprayer, and blot it dry. This will add just some nice distressing to the background of my panel. I like to buff off the greeting again when I'm done. And then you can simply peel off that post-it tape and you have a layered look with a flat insert, which I really love. This is one of my favorite things to do. It decreases bulk and it makes it so super easy to go through the mail. I'm going to use my MISTI, like I was talking about, to lay out the remaining parts of my greeting from the DIY invitation stamp set. So this will read You're Invited to a Movie Night. Then it's going to have a when and where line. It will also have the I'm there, wish I could stamps. There's a yes and a no and all kinds of different greetings. You can use these in so many different ways. But for these, I really felt like I only need the when, where, And then the little check marks, I'm there or wish I could. And I think that that's just kind of a fun little way to customize these movie night greetings. So my greetings keep tipping over. Long little skinny greetings like this can be a trick sometimes. Think I got them finally. Everything's stuck to the front of my Misty because I had it laid out on my desk, which at least it doesn't get lost that way. I love these little checked circles that you can check, the recipient can check. Go ahead and pick those up as well. Now I'm going to do a two-tone stamping for the remaining greetings. To a Movie Night's going to be stamped in pink. It's going to be high enough up in the card. It's kind of that same effect where it went pink to orange. I want that to be pink and the bottom portions to be orange. And using the Misty, some of the areas did not stamp as crisp as they could have. So I'm able to stamp them multiple times to get the best impression. Now from the little girl agenda, I am stamping the little movie girl because she is perfect for a movie night invitation. I've stamped her a couple times and then I'm going to color her in. You could do this as many times as you need to. Super fast coloring. These are teeny tiny little images. They don't need a ton of blending. In fact, I think I could have really got away with 2 colors for the skin instead of the 3 that I normally try to do because 3 just was too much for these teeny tiny images. The popcorn's going to be Y23. The skin tones I should mention are E00, 11, 13, and R20 for cheeks. The hair is E53, 55, and 57. Again, I tried to use 3 colors. I think I could have got away with 2. They're just so super small. Part of that is habit, just from coloring other images. I typically use 3 for hair and 3 for skin. And these little tiny images just don't need near as much. So you can get away with a lot less, and that's going to speed up your coloring time as well. Feathering in the hair here, you can see the cute little girls come to life. I am so sorry. These are so small. They're a little hard to show. I tried to hold my pen at an angle, but it didn't work that well. So you could actually see the coloring. Go ahead and do the second one. So just really assembly line style all the way, even down to the coloring. So next on the little girl here, and for reference, the colors of markers I'm using are shown across the bottom of the screen. Her dress is going to be RV52 and RV55. I did go ahead and use 2 colors. Very, very little shading and blending, but just a tiny little bit here. And that matches the invitation. Go ahead and do the popcorn bucket next with stripes, RV46, and that's just a solid color. I'm doing no blending at all. This is such a small image. Very hard to blend, I think. Maybe with a finer tip nib that might work a little bit better. Then for the film reel, that's going to be in shades of cool gray. So I've got cool gray 6, 8, and 9. Color that in for both of them. The insides of the film reel I'm going to do in a darker gray. That'll be the C9 color. And then I'll go back and do her shoes in pink just to draw in a little more color. These little girl and little boy agenda, as well as the little cat and little dog agenda stamp sets from Mama Elephant, are so much fun for adding little images to almost any project. They're just really great. And they've been super popular. Just really fun, great little stamp sets. So here's those shoes. I'm going to add just a tiny touch of color. And the little buckle or button on them. I just did black. Then I'm going to die cut these with the coordinating Little Girl Agenda dies and pop them in place right there above the movie night part of the greeting. And that really just finishes off the design, gives it a fun, whimsical touch. You could leave it off for a more elegant card. And then I'm going to finish with a scattering of some Simon Says Stamp sequins. I'm adhering those with some bling glue dots. And they're in shades of orange and pinks that match this perfectly. You can grab whatever sequins match the color combination you're using. But they're a nice small embellishment. Add some sparkle, add a little interest to the design, and they're going to just finish it up and showcase these perfectly. Grab some pretty envelopes and you are ready to pop these in the mail. Just very fun, great way of doing all kinds of different invitations with this Invitation Wishes stamp set from Mama Elephant. Thanks for joining me today for these movie night invitations featuring the Invitation Wishes DIY invitation and Little Girl Agenda stamp sets from Mama Elephant. The supplies I used are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Here are a couple more videos featuring Mama Elephant that you might be interested in. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.